Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So I've got a few smaller jobs to do this week. I've done one job already. I had one line boring job to do, but I didn't video that. But I'll take you along with me while I do these other smaller jobs. So this is a bonnet off a train. It's off a Drewry train, I think. I'm not a train expert, so I'm not really sure, but it's off an old diesel train. I've been putting this job off for a while because it's not going to be very easy to roll it, I don't think. But yeah, we've got a new one to make because this one's all rotten in the middle. So I've spent a bit of time measuring all the holes, where all the holes are. They're not symmetrical, which makes the job a bit more complicated. Whether they've been drilled afterwards, I'm not sure why they're not symmetrical, but anyway, they're not. So I've been round, measured all that up. I'm not doing all the holes. I'm just doing sort of the main ones where it fastens down to, and then where the chimney goes. So I've got that drawn. All my measurements. And then that's what it's going to look like as a flat piece. So I'm going to cut that out with 3mm. I've got some 3mm on there. It does measure a little bit thicker than 3mm. So I think it depends where you measure it. I think originally it'll have been 1/8 inch plate, but 3mm will be fine. So that's all set out. So that's ready to cut out now. So it is new, is that plate. It's been stored up there on that rack, but because of the damp in the atmosphere, it's gone rusty. So I'll have to give it a sand down again before I roll it. So that's that all cut out and cleaned up. That's the other side. It's flipped over the other way. The other side was the rusty side. So I need to mark on here now what I have done, sort of where the rolls start and stop. So if you measure off the other one, you can sort of see there's like 100mm of flat on there before the roll starts. And I just need to work out where this sort of radius ends, and then the rest of it has a bit of a roll on it as well. it's going to be a bit tricky getting it to match. So it looks like that radius maybe ends about there. I haven't got anything that size to put in there to match it against. Looks like that radius sort of ends there and you put a straight edge. When you press that against here, looks like that maybe ends there. So I think I'll use that as my measurement. So I've just done the same with this side to see sort of where the radius ends. And then when you measure it, there's 30mm difference from this side to that side. So I'll have to flip it over and see what that measures and maybe go off that end. Right, so I've got them marked on. That's where I need to start and stop on that tighter radius on the edges. And the whole lot needs a little bit of a roll as well. But I think what I'm going to do, I should have realised earlier, is when I cut that middle out, I should have left some tabs on it so the middle bit stayed in while I rolled it, because with this bit only being narrow across here, the middle will roll different to what these bits do here. So I think I'm just going to tack that bit back in. So then from there to there should hopefully all be even, rather than it won't be as much on there, then it'll roll more in the middle, and then it won't be as much from there to there. So yeah, I'll just quickly tack that bit back in again. So because I don't really do much rolling, I wasn't very sure how much to turn the handles. So that's why I'm just doing it a little bit at a time. If you knew exactly what you were doing, you probably could have done this roll in 2 or 3 rolls rather than however many it took me to do it. So I think I've sort of got that middle roll, something like, it'll spring back a bit when I take the weight off the rollers, but because it's only 3mm it'll flex a bit as well, so it doesn't matter if it's a bit too much or not quite enough, because that bit will flex. So the important bit now is getting this roll right here, and that's going to be quite difficult. I have just drawn a bit of a template off the old one. It'll just sort of fit, so I can sort of, I don't know, it's going to be not going to be easy at all doing that. Anyway, we'll take that down into the centre of that roller, and we'll put some more marks on so I know where to start and stop, and we'll just keep rolling a bit and see what happens. Right, so I think I'm maybe not far off on this end. When you measure from that like cut out bit there down to here, I get 106. I take the same measurement on here to there, I get 107 that way. And then 1065 that way. I think I might just give it a little bit more because it'll spring when I let the tension off the rollers. It's just not easy to see, not easy to tell what you're doing really. Right, so I think we're maybe alright at that. The other bonnet measures 49 inches across there, and I've got 49 and a quarter. Yeah, 49 and a quarter. So I think that'll be near enough. There's no pressure on that now. That's like relaxed. So I think that'll be near enough because it'll spring 1/4 of an inch easy, especially when it's only 3mm. Yeah, I think we'll make that do. We'll take that out now. Right, so I've got that lifted out and sat again the old bonnet. Now the old bonnet is a bit bent and twisted and a bit of a sag in the middle. If you lift it up to match that one, it does near enough line up. It's not very easy one-handed. It seems to match up there, and then just about matches up there. You might want a bit of tweaking when it's fitted onto the train. So we'll chop that bit out now. It's worked well as that, tacking that back in. It's a nice consistent arch. I don't think that looks too bad. Might have overcooked it a little bit from where I started and stopped. That one's alright. A nice consistent arc around there. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. Right, so that's that done. They should be able to flex it into shape, I think. It's fairly springy. Whether they might just need pulling in, I don't know. See how, if not, I can always roll it a little bit more, but that's best I can get off of measurements that I've got from that. So that's for a 1941 Drewry train, apparently. Diesel. So yeah, that's that one done. It is quite tricky as rolling. You can soon make a mistake if you're not, especially with my rollers, because I don't have a brake on them. If you're not sharp enough pressing the stop button, you can overshoot like your mark and then you ruin the whole thing. But no, it's come out all right as that. Right, so we've got this front casting to sort out. This is off a 9600 Ford. It's like the front casting, and that's your front axle pivot. It's a 2-wheel drive tractor. Your front axle pivot goes through there. But as you can see, it's pretty badly worn. But the customer supplied these bushes and said that's what they're supposed to have in there. But when you look, that bush wouldn't have fit in that hole. So it looks like it's maybe been worn out before. Then someone's bought it out and made their own bush and then pressed that in. So I'm hoping it might not have worn into the casting anymore. It might just have worn that bush through. Because when you look on the other side, on this side, you can still see some of it left. So first job, we'll knock that out and see what the original hole looks like. Right, so I was maybe a little bit ambitious trying to knock it out. I've given it a few whacks and it's not moved, so we'll take it over to a little press and we'll press it out. I could do with a hollow ram really for doing stuff like this, but I haven't got around to getting one yet. And if it won't press out, then we'll just slice through it with the gas and cut it out. But yeah, we'll try it with a press first. So I didn't want to press out either, as it is only a little 10-ton press, so yeah, we'll just cut it out. Right, so we've got that out, it's undamaged. There's melted a little bit there, but we haven't cut into the side, so that's good. Probably could have run some weld around the inside of there and it'd have shrunk it and come out, but I didn't know how thin it was. I didn't want to end up burning through the bush and end up welding the bush into there, so that's why I chose to cut down the side of it. So it's just cut enough of it away to let it shrink in a little bit. And it's come out all right, so I'll give that hole a clean up. It doesn't look like it's actually worn into the casting, so that should be good. It's not worn into the casting at all, so I think we'll just make a new one of them, but that'll fit one of these inside it. So then at least it does have a sort of a wearing bush. It's easy to replace compared to one of them. So now I've got that knocked out and cleaned up, you can see that bar is pretty scarred. And they must have done that when they pressed that in, because there's no way I've managed to do all that just knocking it out with a hammer. Now it'll have to be alright, because it's not worth me spending any time trying to bar that out. So we'll make a new one of these now. Right, so that's that made. So now hopefully that will fit in there. This bush wasn't easy to measure off because it's like a split bush, but it sort of measures different in a few different places because it's got like that split down it. I don't know what size the original hole is supposed to be, so hopefully that'll also fit in there. So I might have to press that in. We'll give it a knock, see if we can knock it in. If not, we'll press it in. I might put some bearing set glue around it as well, just to stop that bit from coming out. So that one started to go in. I think I'll maybe press that one in once. I'll leave that to set for a bit. The glue on the bottom one, even though it was quite tight. And I've got the split on that bush at the bottom because all the wear is at the top. So yeah, we'll leave that a little bit and then I think we'll press that in. Right, so I've got that pressed in. It was a little bit tighter than what I wanted it to. It shaved a little bit off the side, but it was difficult to measure, like I said, because it's a split bush. There wasn't really a measurement the same wherever you measured it from. So yeah, it's a bit tighter than I wanted it to be. I haven't got a very good press set up, so I just had to use the bottle jack. We had a fire on this and it burnt all the pipes off, and we've never got round to putting it back together. Little press wasn't strong enough, so yeah, great setup there with a bottle jack. If anyone has like a big 150 ton press that they want to sell, let me know, because it's about time I set myself up with a better press. So even though it was tight to press in, this is a pin, well, one half's good and half's worn, but the pin still fits, so that's all right. Might be a bit tricky next time the bush needs changing, but if it's anything like last time, they'll have worn through the bush and worn through that. So yeah, that's that repair done. Last job, this front press frame needs the whole sorting out. I'll show you what this is, what this goes on, because we have one the same. So this is our front press. It's the same thing, but it's slightly different. You get the idea. These rollers on, they go on the front of your tractor, on your front linkage, and then it breaks up the ploughing and flattens it down before you go over it with a machine like this on the back of the tractor. You see how it's the same problem, the pins are worn in the holes. But yeah, that is what the frame is off, similar type of thing to that. And it fits on your front linkage. In the other video, what did I do? Oh, that front weight carrier. Someone said they didn't realise tractors had linkages on the front now. Well, yeah, most tractors do nowadays. So there's a few ways to fix it. What some people would do is machine like a boss and weld it on the side, but I don't really like doing that because you're widening the gap that the pin is supported by, so you're putting like a bending force on the pin rather than a shear force. So I don't really like doing that. You could sort of build the holes back up with weld and like die grind them out or drill them out, but it's not going to be easy and not really a proper job. Wouldn't be able to drill them out very well because you won't be able to set it up very easily. So I could cut the holes out and make like a top hat bush to go through the thickness of that, and then a bit more on the outside, but then there's time machining. Then I've got to make longer pins, which you can buy standard pins cheaper than what I can make them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop these off, plasma some new ones out and weld some new ones on. See, they're all oval. They won't take much chopping off. Yeah, and just make some new ones. I think that'll be the best and easiest job. So I'll get the plasma torch out and get them cut off. Right, so that's all them chopped off and ground up. I bloody forgot to press record when I set my phone up while I was grinding it down, but there's not much to see, just me grinding. So that didn't take long at all. I'll draw them up now and then cut some of them out. Right, so that's them three drawn. That's one bottom link plate, that's the top link plate, and then that's the other bottom link plate. So we'll bring some 15mm plate round and cut them out. Right, so that's them all cut out. They cut out pretty nice. Holes are nice and round. That's the top side. That's the underside. The wheel just needs cleaning up a little bit with a die grinder. That's a hell of a lot quicker than drilling them. We don't want to be too tight anyway, because if the pin gets a little bruise on it, then you can't get the pin out. So we do want a little bit of tolerance. It's just this one. I'm going to cut another one of these out, because the hole's not come out very well on that one. So the reason why that one's not come out very nice is because on this hole like that, there isn't physically enough room to do a long lead in. So when you blast through, all the metal blasts back out again and leaves like a molten lump of metal on the top. And then when it starts cutting, it caught on the like slag and knocks it out of line. So that's why that one's not come out very well. What I was doing with these ones is after it pierced through, I was stopping it, knocking the slag off the top and then letting it go again, and then there was nothing for it to catch on. And it also knocks the torch height control out of whack as well, because when it's sensing how high the torch is, and if there's any slag in the way, then it lifts the torch up too high. So yeah, I'll cut another one of them out, but they've come out pretty well. Right, so I've got another one of them cut out now, so that's better. They're good ones, that's a bad one. So where it starts and stops, it just leaves a little bit of a ridge that you have to die grind out, but makes my life a lot easier now. I don't have to drill any holes. So I'll give them a clean up and then get them welded on. Right, so that's all them tacked on. They were a bit fiddly to get lined up, but when you put the pin through, and the pin's a bit worn, but there is a good bit there and a good bit there, so I'm using them to line it up. It looks square across there, and then when you look at it from that way, it looks square. Same with that one. It doesn't matter too much because it's a ball that goes in the arm, so if it's not quite lined up, it doesn't really matter. And then on to tip it on its side now and get welded around them. I'll probably I'll V that out a bit. Maybe should have done that before I tacked them on, but I'll just run a grinding disc down there, V it out a bit. Same with there. And get welded round. So that's all them welded on. There's a few sharp bits like that to grind off. But yeah, they're all on. So we'll give them a polished ceramic grinder. And then I think I haven't got any blue, so I'll just use my standard red oxide to give it a paint with. Right, so that's all painted. I've just been through that top one with the reamer. It's nice and tight now as that. I think the pin is a bit bruised. I need to get some new pins, but it does fit through. Yeah, it's nice and tight as that now. And then the bottom, I need to get some new pins for there as well, but it's nice and tight, so that's a lot better than it was. So I don't want to be too tight, otherwise if they do bruise over you can't get them in and out, but like I say, that's as good as what it would have been when it was new. So that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.